Good morning, this is Carrie with Change Matrix, and in this video I am going to talk about keeping the focus on the self. Alright, so last night I've really been paying attention to my thoughts, and last night one of my friends kept popping up into my head, and I kept consciously going, no, I don't want to think about them right now. I'm focusing on myself. I'm doing a meditation where I'm getting into my body, seeing where my energy is stiff, and visualizing that energy, just releasing, sending love to that, to really heal my physical and emotional and energetic body. This is something I have been doing every day intentionally to unlock whatever is keeping me stuck and preventing me from having the life I want. So what came to my mind last night was, you're always focused on other people. You're always focused on solving other people's issues and trying to make their life great and wonderful. What about my life? And who am I to judge someone else's life? Who am I to meddle in their business and to tell them what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing? Nobody likes that. But see, that's how my family treated me. And I realized this is a common trait for people who are raised in a religious family, because religion, most religions, especially Christian-based religions, lay a ton of guilt trips on you that you should not be selfish. You should not live your life for you. You should do the will of this invisible God that is separate from you, which God is not separate from you, because you are God. We're all God. Everything in existence is a part of God. God's everything, right? God is not a man. It's an energy. It's life force energy, and in of itself. Okay. So that's why personally, I don't think religion is healthy. A lot of people think, oh, it makes people good. No, it doesn't. It causes dysfunction is what it does. And here's part of the dysfunction that it causes is people meddling in other people's business. People focused on other people's lives instead of keeping the focus on yourself. I go to ACA, it's adult children of alcoholic and dysfunctional families. I think pretty much everyone qualifies for it. It's an awesome support group. It really, it helps unravel things and helps you understand yourself, others, your childhood. So I realized, my whole life I've been focusing on other people because my family also was very dangerous. My mom was crazy. She was overbearing, always screaming and yelling at me for no reason at all. She definitely had a chemical imbalance. I don't know what happened to her to make her so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but she was a bitch. Like, when I was a kid, I literally thought she was an evil witch. I still kind of think that. There's something like really messed up with my family. I don't know how I got born into that family, but somehow I did. My whole life, I'm like, how am I even related to these people? I must have been kidnapped. I must not really be their daughter. But I had to, in order to survive the environment I grew up in, I had to focus on the people around me. I had to anticipate what they were going to do next. I had to try to figure out how to please them, how to, avoid being punished. But inevitably I was punished all the time anyways. It didn't matter that I did everything my mom told me to do. She just hated me. I don't know, it's because I was born a girl and she thought I would be a boy. It's part of it. But I think also as I'm gaining some memories back, I think I saw something that my mom didn't want me to see, that she was embarrassed about. And every time she looked at me, it was a reminder to her that she's not perfect. And she couldn't stand that. And so she just always was attacking me. Didn't matter what I did or didn't do. There was no pleasing her. Yeah. And so when you're a child trying to understand crazy, trying to make logic and sense out of crazy, it's an impossible task. And I became a hairstylist, and for many years I was being a hairstylist. The focus was like, that's my job, to focus on the client, focus on their hair, their life, them, cater to them. And so I was spending my life catering to everybody else, making everybody else's life great and wonderful, solving their problems for them. But what about me? I never got to live my life. I'm 54. I'm gonna be 55 in a few months. Never got married. Never even had a good long-term boyfriend, you know? Never had a stable job. Like, as hard as I try to have a stable job, somehow, some way, something always happens. There's always some woman who starts working and she's manipulative, backstabbing, and in the background doing things I'm not aware of, that is like, starts getting people against me, and I'm like, what's going on here? That's a repetitive theme in my life, because it's my mom, my sisters did to me. But now that I'm aware of that, I can move that energy out. But getting back to keeping the focus on the self, I realized, like, I don't want to think about other people. I don't want to solve anyone else's problems ever again. I don't want to help other people, and I know that sounds bad, but like, I have to take care of myself. I've helped enough people in my life. It's time for me to live my life for me. And it's not bad to be selfish. In fact, it's healthy to be selfish. We all have to be selfish. And religion, my family putting all these guilt trips on me that, oh, I shouldn't be selfish. And who am I to ask for a good life? My family was really awful to me. Like, they made me feel unworthy of anything good. And if I'd even asked for something, oh, I got the guilt trips laid on me thick. Like, my mom kept paying for my sister's piano lessons, but no, she wasn't going to keep paying for my ballet lessons, even though I was in the top 3 of the class, and it was my passion and desire to become a ballerina. And throughout my life, I've had people be like, oh, you have the figure of a ballerina. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was supposed to be a ballerina, and my mom screwed that up for me, because you got to start when you're young. And she killed my dream, constantly killing my family, constantly killing my dreams, which is killing someone's soul. So here's my advice also. If someone is passionate about doing something, don't poo-poo all over it. Okay? Don't be like, oh, you can't make money at that. Oh, don't pursue that. Oh, no, that's dumb. Oh, do you really want to do that? No. If someone is passionate and they're excited about something, even if you think it's stupid, just keep your mouth shut. Just be supportive. Be like, oh, that's awesome. That's great. You're excited about something. Pursue what you're excited about, because that's life. Life is about pursuing your passions and what you're excited about. Don't kill that for people. Don't be judgy. And then here's the other thing that came to my mind, because this has been coming up for me lately, is when I was 18 and 19, I started focusing, so when I was 18, my boyfriend broke up with me. I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I got to a point where I felt nothing. Like, I literally felt nothing. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I had no desires. I just felt kind of dead and empty. And I'm like, this is no way to live. Why do Buddhist monks try to get to this state where they desire nothing? It's an awful state to be in. you have to desire something. You have to have some passion. That's being alive, is to have some passion, some heart, some soul, instead of being an empty shell. And so I was like, all right, this is dumb. What is the purpose of life? Like, if there's a God, you better show me that you even exist. What is the point in all of this? And then it felt like this liquid energy pouring down into my head, going down my body, filling my body up, coming back up, and it felt like the most loving hug. It felt like the mother of all. It felt like the most loving, supportive mother. Definitely not anything like my mom. And I was like, holy shit, God's real. And God's a woman, by the way. I mean, maybe God's a woman and a man. I mean, if God were a gender, God would be a woman. And that makes logical sense. And if you don't believe that, then you've really been brainwashed down the wrong trail. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. You can have your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and doing what works for you. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. All right, so I don't really know what religion's right. I was raised Christian, but I'm going to have an open mind, because I do remember when I was little, Christianity really felt demonic to me. And the more I dig into it, the more I am like, yep, Christianity is demonic. There's so many mistranslations and wrong teachings. Like anyway. So I studied Christianity, Mormon, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Jewish. At the time, I didn't know about Lakota. Later in life, when I found Lakota, I'm like, this makes more sense. If there is a spiritual belief that I mostly resonate with, it would be Lakota beliefs. But even some of their beliefs I don't 100% agree with. But anyway, so yeah, like as I was studying all these different religions, I got to a point where it's like, you know what? All religions, all spiritual beliefs have one core, main, most important message, and that is love. Love, compassion, acceptance, and all the rest of the stuff is just cultural preference. Like, it doesn't matter what name you give God. It doesn't matter how you pray or if you pray. It doesn't matter if you go to church or a temple or wherever you go. You can just go out in nature. Church is wherever your mind is, right? Or your temple is wherever your mind is. And I had an uncle that worked for Campus Crusade. If you don't know what Campus Crusade is, some like way out there Christian televangelist group. I think this was in high school. I'm sure my mom was complaining about me not going to church, because she loves to complain about me. She loved complaining about me and blaming me for all her problems. And so we were at my grandparents' house, and I was waiting for the bathroom, and my uncle comes up to me. He's like, so Carrie, where's God been lately? That was his way of saying, why haven't you been at church? And I looked at him and I said, last I knew, God was everywhere. Oh, the look on his face was priceless. It was funny. The rest of the day, he was just speechless. He couldn't say anything back to that. The rest of the day, he kept looking at me and just going, because he had nothing. He had no comeback with that. Yeah. It was funny. Anyway, yeah, so I was like, okay, all religions, they have this main message of love, but then because of their cultural differences, they actually get away from the main message, and they get too focused on the judgy opinions of what you should and should not be doing. And oh, a woman should cover her hair. No, a woman doesn't have to cover her hair. Oh, you should go to the temple on Saturday. Oh no, you should go on Sunday. Or you should go to, like, all this different, oh, you should pray to Mary. No, you should pray to Jesus. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All those preferential things don't matter. They're irrelevant. But people hold on so tight to those because that is what helps them relate to their community and feel connected to their community. And they hold on so tight to those things that they lose sight of the main message, which is love. So I started meditating on 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And love does not judge. Love does not judge. That's either judge is judge, good or bad, is not judging. And in the ACA, it says we will not crosstalk, which is don't talk about what someone else has shared. Don't judge what someone else has shared. Don't judge, good or bad. And keep the focus on the self. And religions are like, oh no, abandon yourself and focus on everyone else. Abandon yourself and do the will of some invisible God. Don't follow your own passions. Don't follow your heart. Abandon connecting to your true source, which is love. And that's why I think religion is evil, because it causes separation. I don't think you should ever worship anything. Instead, honor. Honor everything in your existence as equally important. And you are the most important person in your life. Everyone must live their own life and be responsible for their own life. Do you like it when someone tells you what to do? No. Do you like it when someone's judging everything in your life? No. So don't do that to someone else. You have to live your own life and allow others to live their own life. And that is something that triggered the heck out of me during the shutdown. I lived in the Bay Area, and the people there were hands down the worst. The shutdown brought out the worst in people. OMG. I'm a shallow breather because of childhood traumas. I cannot wear a mask, or I'm not getting enough oxygen, and I feel like I'm going to pass out and die. And also, I have issues with being strangled and having suffocated. So having a mask on me, I feel PTSD. Okay? I cannot wear a mask. I only wore a mask when I absolutely had to. Like when I went to the grocery store and they made you wear a mask. I had it, the grocery store mapped out, and I would know everything I needed, and I would just rush through the grocery store, just grabbing things, putting it in my basket. Don't sit there and think about anything, just grab and go. I'd be in and out in less than 10 minutes. Because I hate wearing a mask. It gave me PTSD. It would put me in an anxiety, right? And I have back and neck issues because of childhood traumas. And I have to exercise or my back and neck hurts. So I would go on a jog, obviously not wearing masks. I can't exercise and wear a mask. I would not get any oxygen. I would keel over and pass out. Yeah. So I jog past people, and they're like, you're not wearing a mask. I'm like, you're wearing a mask. Keep the focus on yourself. Don't focus on me. If you think a mask works and you're wearing it, why do you care if I'm wearing a mask or not? Like, it just irritated the hell out of me. Like, please, people, keep the focus on yourself. I'm going to be mindful of keeping the focus on myself. I'm going to stop trying to solve other people's problems. I need to solve my own problems. I need to do me, and you need to do you. And we need to get rid of all the dictators and Judge Judy Brown and all the judgies, right? And just focus on love. Because what is love? Love does not judge. Love rejoices in the truth. And a lot of people have a hard time being honest. We all struggle with being honest with ourselves and honest with others, because we are afraid of, and then here's fear, we're afraid of being judged negatively and being unaccepted. See, fear, judge, and oh shoot, what was the other one? Honesty. Fear, judge, and honesty, right? Those three main things. Love has no fear, zero fear. Love is 100% honest, and love does not judge. Those are the things we need to really focus on, and I am going to be focusing on that. You do whatever you want to do, and I'm not going to care what y'all are doing. I got to do me, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Right? Keep the focus on myself and set boundaries. See, my family, when you raise an abusive home where they didn't allow you to have healthy boundaries or any boundaries at all, as an adult, how are you going to know how to set a healthy boundary or any boundary if you've never experienced a healthy boundary or any boundary, right? Over my lifetime, I've had to gradually learn and realize when someone's crossing my boundaries or when I'm crossing someone else's boundaries. And when you're judging someone else, you're crossing their boundary. When you're caring about how anyone is judging you, you're allowing them to cross your boundary. Don't do that. And it takes mindfulness and practice, and we're human. We're not perfect. We're not always gonna set healthy boundaries. You're guaranteed you're gonna cross someone's boundaries, someone's gonna cross your boundaries. But you just do your best to be mindful and try to not do that and not allow that. And forgiveness. Love always forgives. The most important person to forgive is yourself. Because even when other people have harmed us, there's a part of us inside that blames ourselves. We wonder, what did we do? Because as a child, when your parents being mean to you and you don't understand why they're being mean to you, you're like, what did I do? That's your first question. What did I do to deserve this punishment? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Right? And sometimes it has nothing to do with you. I remember in high school, there was this guy, he just started being mean to me. And I just had this gut feeling that he was going through a rough time and he just needed some love and compassion. So I didn't take anything he said personally. I was like, I love you too, man. I'm like, I'm going to win him over with kindness. I'm just going to be so kind. He can't stand it. And I just never took anything he said to me personally. I knew he was just expressing the pain that he was going through and it had nothing to do with me. And at the end of the year, he finally, sorry, I'm gonna get some water. He finally came up to me and said, I have to apologize. I was really mean to you this year. And my parents are going through divorce and my home life was just awful and I was just pissed off and angry at the world. I'm like, yeah, I figured that. That's why I didn't take anything you said personally. I'm like, thank you for finally acknowledging that, because that's gonna, now you can finally heal and get rid of that, heal that pain and let go of that anger. He's like, I just want to thank you so much, because there were times I actually thought about suicide, but actually your kindness stopped me from doing that. And yeah, he was very grateful that I was nice to him. So there you go. You never know. And here's the thing, is only hurt people hurt other people, and we're all hurt in some way or another. Anytime you're negatively judging someone, it's coming from a space of fear and hurt, a fear of being inadequate, a fear of not being accepted, of being hurt, right? When we're negatively judging someone else, often it's, are we jealous of them? Are we envious they have what we want? And we're like, well, why do they have this and I don't? You know? Yeah. So, love has no fear. Love does not judge. Love is always very honest and always forgives. 4 important things. Those are like the most important things about love. And love always wins. Don't forget that. 5th one, love always wins. So, when you focus on just being in the state of pure love, you will start to feel so free. Like I focused on 1 Corinthians chapter 13. There's a lot of different versions of it. Some of them I'm like, that's not the right version. And the versions I find online now, I'm like, that's not the original version, because it leaves out some important things. But the 5 important things I told you, those are most important. No fear, being 100% honest, forgiveness, do not judge, love always wins. Yeah, so when I was 18, 19, I really focused on that. And when I was 19, super focused on that. And I was going to a Christian church at the time. And I already was kind of not happy with it, because in the Bible study, there's so many things that didn't make sense. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, the God in the Bible sounds like the devil. And, oh, that was blasphemy. But I'm like, yeah, I mean, love doesn't judge. And here you have this judgy God, and God's supposed to be love. So that's contradictive right there. Yeah, there's just so many things I questioned, and they couldn't answer my questions. They're like, no, you just have to have faith that it makes sense. I'm like, no, it either makes sense or it doesn't. I have to understand this. And if you're not liking me questioning this and trying to understand what is not logical in this book, and you can't explain it, then something's not right here. And we need to dig into this. Right? So anyways, I was focusing on love. I was like, hey, I'm just going to, a lot of the stuff in the Bible doesn't make sense. It's not important. It's probably mistranslated, which it is. And I'm just going to focus on love. So I did. I was just focusing on love. I felt so great. I felt free. I felt light. I just felt bliss. It's freedom when you focus on pure love. And we were in church. It was like the youth group, and it was the closing prayer. And while the pastor was praying, I'm like, what is he even praying about? It's not what people need to hear. And I almost got up and grabbed the mic and took over the prayer. And then I was like, nah, I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to focus on love. And I could feel like this great feeling just emanating out of me. I felt really light. Like I felt like I was glowing white, like glowing really light. And then I also felt like I was levitating off my chair. It felt super light. Like light as in like the sunlight, and light as in light like a feather. 2 different lights. Yeah, and then I wanted to touch my friend next to me, but I knew he kind of had a crush on me, and I wasn't interested in that way. But I just wanted to send that energy to him. But I was like, no, I don't want to give him the wrong idea. So I didn't touch him. I just sat there, and then when the prayer was over, the pastor and I looked right at each other, and when he looked at me, he like went back like that. He was scared. And I was like, why would he be afraid? I'm like emanating pure love. Why would he be afraid of that? Like he should be like, wow, that's amazing, right? No, he was scared. And then my friend was like, oh my God, you're like glowing. He's like, during the prayer, I could feel this energy. coming from you, and I wanted to touch you, but I didn't want you to think I was being fresh. And I said, yeah, I have been focusing on, I told him what I was doing, and he was like, wow, I need to try that. I'm like, yeah, you should totally focus on this. And he was the only one who was interested in focusing on pure love. No one else in that room, it was like no one there even saw or acknowledged. It was like, did they not feel that pure love? Did they not feel this great energy coming off of me? It was weird. It was like nobody was interested. And the pastor, I wanted to talk to him because I wanted to tell him what I had been doing. He avoided me like the plague. He did not want to look at me. He did not want to talk to me. And I was like, that's weird. I'm like, there's something really weird and creepy about this church and the religion in and of itself. Like, why is it always men that are pastors? There's never any female pastors. I mean, now that's different, but back then, no female pastors. It was all male. And I'm like, why would, I'm emitting this awesome energy. Why would you be avoiding that and be afraid of that? That's weird. I'm like, they're hiding something. They're doing something wrong. I just knew. And I stopped going to that church shortly after that. I continued to focus on pure love. But it was weird, you know, it was like the early 90s, the 80s. The music in the 80s, it was so focused on over-sexualizing everything and demons and rock and demonic stuff. And so, I don't know, maybe people just were not interested in feeling really light and happy. They're into the dark grunge. I don't know. And in the 90s, a lot of people were doing speed and a lot of heavy drugs. So yeah, it was weird. Like, I just didn't seem to be around anyone. I didn't know any Buddhists. I didn't know any monks or anyone that would have even been interested in supporting what I was doing. And I just, after a while, I felt like I didn't relate to people. And I felt lonely. And I was like, you know, as a human, we need to relate to other people. And as children, I think we're born with this light in us. But then we dim that light down because we have to relate to our family. Because as a child, your survival depends on your relationship with your family. And that carries over into your life. That is why we abandon ourselves. Because we have this need. We have learned, it gets hardwired in when we're kids, that our survival depends on our relationships with other people. And in many ways it does. But this doesn't mean you have to abandon yourself and abandon the love in your heart. Yeah, so like after a while, I just kind of stopped doing that practice and dimmed it down. And here and there, I've tried to tap back into that, and I've just never really been able to tap back in to that incredible feeling. But I think it just takes practice. And I'm going to daily do this practice of just focusing on love, feeling pure love inside of me, and just disconnecting to the world around me and just connecting to my own heart, to my own soul. And I think everyone should do that, but that's my opinion. You can have another opinion, doesn't matter. You do you, I do me. So let's get rid of the dictators and the control freaks, because people who like to control only like to control because they don't feel safe when they're not in control, because when they were a child, they weren't in control and their environment probably wasn't safe. So if you're around someone who's controlling, just know they're being controlling because they just don't feel safe when they're not in control. It's actually a sign of weakness, not strength. When someone is controlling, it's a sign of weakness, not strength. When someone can let go and just be and trust that everything's going to work out, that's strength. It may look like weakness, but that's actually true strength. So I think that's what I want to say about this subject, about keeping the focus on the self. And that's being selfish is not a bad thing. It's actually good and it's healthy. When you fully love yourself and you're taking care of yourself, it's easy to love others. It's easy to have the energy and the resources to help others, right? You have to help yourself first. Just like in the airplane when it's crashing, it's like you got to put your mask on first and then the child's. Not the child's first and then yours, right? Got to keep the focus on the self. And I'm finally, that's sinking in as to what exactly that means. So I hope this message has helped you, because I know these are common struggles that people who've been raised in an abusive household have, and it causes suffering. And here's a tool that you can use to end a lot of your suffering and manifest the life you truly desire. Thank you for listening. This is Carrie with Change Matrix.